I'm doing it. I'm doing it. It's happening. It's going. It's happening. I'm streaming. I did it. I did it. I did it, guys. I did it. We're doing it. Okay, Twitch. Are you live? Kick, are you live? We did it. Oh my goodness. All right, let's check. Do the stream check. Oh my gosh. I clicked the wrong button. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. No, oh my gosh. I gotta find a YouTube. A YouTube. YouTube. And I have to find myself. You got the whole squad laughing. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Okay, so it is going. Is it live? Yep. Okay. Does this sound good? Okay. Now what about this? All right, it's cool. It's coming in. And do I hear a lot of background static? No, I don't. Nice. All right, sweet. All right, in that case, I am going to play Duolingo. I'm going to practice Spanish, actually. Or not. Italian.
Secco. 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 Mojo. Mojo.
Mojo.
Menù. Menù.
Menù.
Il menù.
Il menù. The menu.
Il tavolo.
Tavolo. Is that a table?
Il tavolo.
Yes. Il tavolo.
Buongiorno.
Good morning. Buongiorno.
Il menù, per favore.
Il menù, per favore.
Ecco il menù.
Ecco il menù. Here's the menu. Yes.
Prego, Simona.
Prego, Simona. You're welcome, Simona.
Buongiorno, un tavolo, per favore.
Buongiorno, un tavolo, per favore. Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Bro, holy. Just did not pick up me saying that. Buongiorno. Budding. Buongiorno. Prego. Figlia. Negozio.
Piazza.
Dang it. Tavolo. Ragazza. Ragazzo.
Piazza.
Bro, am I retarded? Piazza. Literally just said that. Si. Here's. Ecco.
Ecco.
Il. Tavolo.
Tavolo.
Good morning. Here's the menu. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Ecco.
Ecco.
Il.
Il
Menù.
menù.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
There's a table. C'è
È
un
un
tavolo,
tavolo.
vero?
Ve-
C'è un tavolo, vero? I don't know why, like Square and like Marketplace and I know Church, But like Square and Marketplace, I always get mixed up with those. I mean, Marketplace is like negozio. What is negozio in Italian? Shop or store, yeah. And then piazza is square. And then ragazzo, is that? No, vicino is neighbor. Ragazzo is boyfriend. Ragazza is girlfriend. Ragazza and ragazzo, or ragazzo. Boy or young man. Ragazza, girl, young. Girls. It says boy. A girl. I think ragazza and negozio. What is negozio? Negozio is the, yeah. I thought ragazza meant girlfriend. Okay. Just, alright. It's like, it can be used as both. Alright. So I did my Italian, but I need to do mi español también. Oh, I don't even have the chats up and stuff. I don't even know if people are talking. Hello! Alright, cool. Turn that off. And Twitch. Alright. Gotta go to my channel. Why doesn't it say I'm going? Profile banner. I'm supposed to be rolling. Channel. Okay, there we go. Alright, it's working. 720p source. Hello. Okay, cool. Alright, nice. Can y'all hear this? Yep. Okay. Okay, describe your family.
Mi hija se llama Sofía.
My daughter's name is Sofia. Mi hija se llama Sofía.
Hermana.
Mi hermana, sister.
Uno.
One.
Madre.
Mother.
Italiano.
Italian.
Mi hijo trabaja en un restaurante pequeño.
My son works in a small restaurant. Mi hijo trabaja en un restaurante pequeño.
Es una familia italiana.
Es una familia italiana. Bless me. It is an Italian family. It would be S.
Es una familia italiana.
It is. S just means it is as well. It's as well as is. Amanda, tu madre es muy inteligente. Doubt.
Esta casa es muy bonita.
This house is very pretty. Wait, what? I have to write it in Spanish. My bad. Esta casa es muy bonita.
¿Tu madre es maestra en esta escuela?
Madre, your mother is a teacher in the school. Is your mother a teacher in the school? This dog is very pretty. Este. Pero es muy bonito.
Trabajo en una escuela muy pequeña.
Trabajo en una escuela muy bonito. Is it bonito?
Trabajo en una escuela muy pequeña.
Oh, pequeña, my bad. Pequeña. Did I spell pequeña? Pequena. Pequeña. It's like that N, that N, little Tyndall or whatever it is. Pequeña. Yeah. Yeah. My husband works at the university. Mi esposo trabaja en la universidad.
Mi esposa estudia francés.
Esposa. My wife studies French. Padre. Bonita. El. Su. My bad. That's his. Intelligente. Italiano. Su. El is he, right? His is su, okay. What is hers? I don't know. She has 3 children. Ella tiene 3 niños. Ella tiene 3 niños. Hijos is, right, okay, yeah. Hijos. Niños is like boys. Hijos is kids, okay. And it's tiene, not tienes. Tiene singular, okay. The boy and his father. El niño y el padre. No. I just learned this one. El niño y su padre. That's it. Pablo has a son and 2 daughters. Pablo tiene un hijo y 2 hijas. All right, we're getting along there. We're brain maxing. Claim and shop. Activate now, claim and shop. I don't want to do either of these. Open the chest. Why am I opening another chest? Please stop. Okay. All right, day 159. Or whoops, that's the camera. 159, we're coming up. I'm coming up. I got to rock it now. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Stream. Check. Go to bed by 11 p.m. That's 18 minutes from now. So please check. Okay. Chase checking and auto insurance shopping. Okay, so I was like gonna do this deal with like Chase checking because they're offering like $400 if you do like $1,000 of direct deposit. This bad boy. Open a Chase total checking account. As a new Chase customer, receive a $400 bonus when you make direct deposits totaling $1,000 or more within 90 days of offer enrollment. I can definitely do that. So it's just like an extra $400 just from signing up for a checking account. And all you need to do is keep in it to make sure that you don't get the monthly service fee. You just have to keep in it $1,500. Service fee. Chase Total Checking has $0 monthly service fee when you have any one of the following during each statement period. Option 1, $500 in qualifying electronic deposits. I don't intend for this to be the account that I like put my money into. So option 2, $1,500 balance at the beginning of each day, or option 3, $5,000 average beginning day balance in this account or in combination with any linked qualifying personal deposits or investments. Or option 4, links this account to a qualifying checking account. Otherwise, wait, link this account to a qualifying checking account? Otherwise, a $15 monthly service fee will apply. I want to know what that option 4 is. Qualifying linked checking account. Include JP Morgan Private Client Checking Plus, JP Morgan Classic Checking, Chase Private Client Checking, Chase Sapphire Checking, Chase Premier Plus Checking, Chase Performance Business Checking, or Chase Performance Business Checking with interest. For personal accounts, there must be a common owner. For business accounts, the owner of the linked personal account must be a direct owner of the business and signer on the business account. Okay, so that's not going to happen because I don't have any of those. But I can keep the $1,500 balance, and then because I keep that as like a part of like my emergency fund, you know. And then let's look at the options. Bonus account information offered not valid existing Chase customers are those whose accounts have been closed within 90 days or closed with a negative balance within the last 3 years. You can only receive one new checking account related bonus 3 years last coupon enrollment date, and only one person. To receive the bonus, open a new checking account which is subject to approval. Have your direct deposit totaling $1,000 or more made into the new checking account within 90 days of coupon enrollment. Your direct deposit needs to be an electronic deposit of your paycheck, pension, or government benefits such as Social Security from your employer or the government. Person-to-person payments such as Zelle are not considered as a direct deposit. Micro deposits do not qualify as direct deposit for the bonus. Micro deposits are small deposits, typically less than $1. That After you have completed all the above requirements, we'll deposit the bonus in your new account within 15 days. To receive this bonus, the enrolled account must not be closed or restricted at the time of payout. Eligibility may be limited based on account ownership. Bonus is considered interest and will be reported on IRS Form 1099 INT. Okay, okay. Offer availability is subject to change. Other Chase checking bonuses offers may exist concurrently. Okay, so it doesn't have any specifics about the time limit afterwards you can close it. So maybe it says at the time of getting the payment. So you can't close it as soon as you get the payment. But does that mean a day later you can? I don't know. The enrolled account must not be closed or restricted at the time of payout. That's all it says. So after you get the $1,000 of direct deposit, then they pay it out or whatever. If you don't close the account, a month down the road, you could probably close the account and then just take everything out of it. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, it seems like a pretty good deal. It's doing this $400 for putting in money that was going to go into my bank anyway. And then I also, I got a jury summons. Oh man. But hey, I want to I want to do my service. I got a jury summons before, but I got an excused absence for it. I was in the middle of a few pretty important things. But now I kind of have time. I have to like talk with my employer, see if I need to take any like PTO off to do this, or like, or a sick day or something. Oh, I need to also check my personal holiday, if I did that or not. Because I can't remember. I might have used it at the beginning of the year or not. So we'll see. I don't think I'm going to sleep at I don't think I'm going to sleep at 11. No, we'll see. All right, let me get these chats up. Channel modes. Start sharing chat. Pop out chat. There it is. Ooh. And then there's also the Wawa rewards thing. Went back to my hometown. Got me some Wawa. Not really Wawa. I got like a Celsius at a Wawa. It's not really getting Wawa. But, you know. Oh, view my channel. What we got? What we got? What we got? I'm live? We live? I gotta go to the control panel or whatever. Pop out chat. Bang. Or I think actually this one already has the chat, right? Oh, yeah. The docs. Chat. Bang. All right, so we got everything. We got it all. We got it all. We got the chats going. I need the chat over here. I like a song. And this chat right here. I like a song. I need more monitors. I need more monitors so I can just like Tony Stark. Tony Stark up in my tiny apartment. Oh man. I'm looking at the video quality. I guess it's all right. All right, I don't know. Man, where's Shri Tom? Miss Shri Tom. All right, so we can go check. I'm gonna look at this checking account thing. We're gonna be fiscally responsible today, guys. Open a Chase Total checking account. As a new Chase checking customer, receive a $400 bonus when you make direct deposits totaling $1,000 or more within 90 days of offer enrollment. Should I scan the code or should I take the offer to any Chase branch? The options are unlimited. For restart, you'll need your driver license or state ID. Are you an existing Chase customer? Nah. Okay. Let's do this covertly. My middle name is optional. It's not letting me type my last name. These people are racist. She's still checking. Replying your offer. I'm at least 18, yeah. If you couldn't tell. Bruh, ain't no way I have to, okay. Literally have to tap back to my birthday. Okay. Okay. Here. I'm not a resident of Canada. What you told us. Here's the recommended. Tells your citizens. Are you a U.S. citizen? Maybe. Social security number. All right. The driver's license. My wallet. Driver's license. I got a mile of fame. Ooh, helps out a mile of fame. Flashlight. Oh, red light. Be alright. Yeah, stop light. Now we gonna something strange. Flashlight. Oh, flashlight. Oh, we can dig these steps over by Okay. Looking on your application. ID scan. It's gonna take my blood. So make sure. Oh my goodness. Bruh. I just put it away. I gotta scan it. I gotta give it all up. I gotta give up the funk. We need the funk. Gotta have that funk. Okay. Bruh. Bruh, please. Please just take the picture. Dude, it will not stop saying hold steady. Dude, take the picture. Oh my goodness, bro. That's crazy, bro. You cannot have like any movement whatsoever. Like I have to literally grab my hand so that it's not so that it's steady enough. Oh my goodness. That's wild. Okay. Okay. All right. We scan the back of your radio. Thanks for applying. Can't open an account for you online. Account for you. We'll send more information regarding our decision in a few days to address you provided. English much? Wait, what? We can't open an account for you online. Thanks for applying, John. We can't open an account for you online. We'll send more information regarding our decision in a few days to the address. Oh, to the address. To the address you provided. Okay. All right. No, I'm just tired. I thought I was saying, like, to address what you provided, but that's not what it was saying. It's not what it was saying. I misread it. I misread things sometimes. That's why you go back through and you check multiple times to make sure you get it right. Because if something doesn't make sense, there's probably a reason for it. And it's either your fault or it's the other guy's fault. But make sure you know which one it is before you go rattling your mouth. Okay, I mean, like I sent it in. I would need to like find a day. Wait, when are Chase banks are open on like Saturdays, right? Is Chase open on Saturdays? Saturdays are for the banks. Am I right? Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. So many Chase banks. Yep. Typically limited hours until early afternoon. Afternoon delight. Okay. That could potentially be done on a Saturday. Saturn energy is ruining my day. Bro, who the f are you? Saturn energy is ruining my day. Okay. Chase Demore. Chase checking. Open Chase checking account. Auto insurance hopping, bruh. Oh, I gotta like look around for auto insurance. You guys want to go auto insurance shopping with me? Wow. Dude, I'm so tired. Excuse me. Okay. Where's the thing? Where's the thing? I literally put it down somewhere. It's got to be around here somewhere. Hey man, you want a piece of pizza? I think I got a piece around here somewhere. Dude, what? I put it down over here. I like it so. Nope. Nope. Yep. That's it. Right here. Progressive. Customers who save when they switch to Progressive save an average of nearly $950 in total over their life, over the year. What? Get your free quote. Get in on the huge savings. All right, we'll look at Progressive. See what Progressive's got. Bang, it's 11. Didn't make that. Didn't get to bed by 11. It's over. No, it's not over. It's fine. I get a fair amount of sleep. Okay. Okay. Better insurance starts here. Insurance savings of over. I know your drivers are switch and save. All right, let's just real quick. Probably the screen. Bruh. I don't want to give them like a billion. Okay, I'm just gonna look this up on the internet. Reddit answers. No. Actually, maybe. What insurance companies have the lowest rates for single men in their 20s? Do Muslims? Okay. Affordable auto insurance. The sponsored results. $38 a month. That's kind of insane. For single men in their 20s, insurance companies that consistently offer the lowest rates, and these are USAA for military members, Travelers, Geico. Just be paying Warren Buffett, auto owners, and Progressive. These insurers are generally the most competitive for this demographic due to their ability to provide specialized discounts for young and experienced drivers. It's often up to 40% cheaper than national average, but requires military affiliation. Yeah, I don't got that. Yeah, I don't got that. Travelers frequently ranks as one of the most affordable options for young drivers in their 20s, especially for men. Offering competitive premiums, particularly for males aged 20 to 25, and often hold the second or third lowest rate position. So the top choice for safe young drivers, competitive rates often available for those who opt for telematics. Oh, usage-based tracking. That's I don't know if I like that. Where it's like they put a tracker in your car and it figures out how much you're accelerating and stuff. Like, bruh, come on. Auto owners insurance, often competitive for young adults in their 20s. Frequently appearing in the top 5 most cost per year. Single male. $2,000 annually. $2,000 annually. Well, that's more than I'm paying anyway. Do I already have like super cheap insurance? I guess this is what cheap insurance feels like. Don't your own drivers, bro. Come on. Your price is way too high. You need to cut it. Royce. It's a cool name. Taking money for down. Do I go for those? If I'm giving a quote for coverage, they didn't tell me if it's a full coverage, but not. Not what the broker told me. My car insurance would be $418 every month. What? Well, that based on my down payment and credit score, my car. The year and for one bedroom is $977 plus fees for water. The brother fighting the drum the pays more than $14. Bro, this is bad. This is bad, bro. Phone bill's too high. Yeah, bro. Change the phone bill. That'll help you. That's crazy, bro. Dude read all of that. And said, "Yeah, man, your phone bill's too high." First thing, it's out of order. You could bring that 87. Yeah, you can bring that 87 down to 25. That's probably good advice too, but it's just funny that was the first thing. You can find it great. What does he mean I got $25 a month? $25 a month? Like $300 a year? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. $300 a year? What? Maybe he's saying he got $25 a month. Like he lowered his bill by $25 a month. He got an extra $300 off his bill. That makes more sense. Insurance Panda? What is this? Bruh. All right, come on. What is Insurance Panda, and do they offer car insurance for less than $30 a month? What? Oh, Florida state minimum. What about basic coverage? See. You'd be surprised at the great insurance options offered by Insurance Panda is a legitimate online quote comparison tool and lead generator, not direct insurance company that helps drivers find cheap local car insurance by connecting them with third-party providers. While they list rates as low as $25 a month, actual rates vary widely depending on your driving profile, with under 30. Typically only covering minimum liability. Okay, yeah, I looked about this. Like, there's minimum liability insurance, and then there's personal injury protection, PIP insurance. Yeah, I don't know about getting insurance, because like because I'm pretty sure, what's the minimum liability? What's it? This okay? I looked this up earlier, and I think when I read it, I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense to have at least like a little bit of extra stuff instead of the minimum liability. What's the difference between minimum liability insurance and PIP insurance? Let's just do that. Injuries and damages you cause to others if you are at fault, required in almost all states. Personal injury protection insurance or no fault coverage pays for your own medical expenses and lost wages regardless of who causes the accident. The difference between PIP and liability insurance. Who's covered? Okay. Minimum liability components. Bodily injury covers medical expenses, lost wages, local fees for the other party if you're at fault. Property damage liability covers damages you cause to another person's property, such as a vehicle. Personal injury protection focus often covers 80% of reasonable medical expenses and 60% of lost wages, according to consumer pamphlet from the Florida Bar. Okay. What is required in Florida? It's a no-fault. For most drivers today, law focuses on no-fault coverage, but major legislative changes are scheduled to take effect in July. As of April 20. Oh yeah, I heard about this. Okay, to legally register and drive a vehicle with 4 or more wheels in Florida. 4 or more wheels. 3 wheels? 5 wheels? Oh wait, no, it's more. 2 wheels? Okay. Covers 80% of your medical bills. Yeah. You must maintain continuous coverage with at least $10,000 personal injury protection. Okay, so you need PIP. $10,000 property damage liability that you cause to someone else's property. 14-day rule, you must seek medical treatment within 14 days of an accident. However, for PIP benefits, okay. Emergency medical. Not find you would have, if a doctor does not find you have an EMC, your PIP medical benefits are capped at $2,500 instead of $10,000. Emergency medical condition. Oh, really? Continuous coverage. You must keep insurance active even if the vehicle is not being driven. You should surrender your license before canceling insurance to avoid a license suspension. Okay. Florida legislature passed a significant overhaul that moves the state towards a fault-based system. Okay. PIP repealed. Personal injury protection will no longer be mandatory. Mandatory bodily injury. Servers will be required to carry bodily injury liability. Property damage liability will stay the same. Yeah. Okay, so what is BI? Bodily injury. Bodily injury. Minimum liability. Protects the other party. Their medical bills. Okay, so that's the other person's medical bills is bodily injury. Okay. So it's damage to their car and to their body is what you're insured for. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, bruh. Like being in like a no-fault state, it's like so annoying. I was literally driving the other day. No, not the other. I was driving today, and I was like coming home, and you know you have to go through like one of those roundabouts that's like a yield sign on like every single four-way like corner. So I'm like coming, and I'm coming up to this stop, or I'm coming up to the yield sign, and then another guy, he's coming up to the yield sign at the same exact time that I'm coming up, and because he's on my left, you yield to the person on your left. When you're driving through one of those roundabouts that say yield sign everywhere, you yield to the person on your left, and then the person on your right is supposed to yield to you, and it goes around like that. So I come up, I yield to this guy on my left, and then he like comes to a complete stop, and then I'm just like sitting there waiting for him to go, and then he's like making hand gestures at me. So I'm like, dude, you need to go. It's your right of way. Like, you go. And then he comes over. He drives up really slowly. He rolls down the window and he goes, if you would have just gone, then we would have both gotten out of here. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? And then I just started looking at him, I'm like, it's a yield sign. Like, why do I... And he wasn't even, like, young or anything. He was, like, in his 40s or 50s. I'm like, dude. Like, yeah, if I would have pulled out and then you would have just kept going, I would have been crashing. It would have been my fault. So, like, what are we talking about here? Oh, my gosh, dude. But anyway... just, what the heck, man. Anyway. So, yeah. I'm glad that it's moving to like a more at fault situation, because like the whole no fault stuff, I'm not gonna say it's incentivizing incompetence when it comes to driving, but it's definitely not punishing incompetence. Anyway, so we need more positive punishments. Positive punishments. Remember your psychology classes. You got your positive punishments. You got your negative punishments. Your positive punishments is where you inflict a bad thing on the person that you're punishing or the subject that you're punishing. And then you have your negative punishments in which you take something away that the subject likes or that the subject wants or needs. And then you have your positive reinforcements and your negative reinforcements. Positive reinforcement is you give them something good. Negative reinforcement is when you take away something bad. Come on. We got psychology 101. Come on, you guys went to high school. Or maybe you didn't, I don't know. All right, what's next? Okay. Now, on to more important topics. Why hard garden? She just gets you knocked out. Bruh. Get your first deal in 2 weeks. First wholesale deal. Dude, oh my gosh. What are these? Yes! SWG! SWG! Sweet awesome gal. What years of extreme isolation have done to me. SWG. SWG. Sweet wholesome gal. I'm just trying to let you know, when you smile like that, make me wanna take you up, take you up, take you up. Introduce you to my folks, and we can hold hands at the dinner table. Let go. This $300 tunnel keeps your home 55 degrees forever. Why it's banned in the US. Why would you want your house to be 55 degrees? Normal operating set point temperature to have your house at. It's like 74. Bruh. Mm-hmm. 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 Togi! Who's Steve will do? Steve will do it. I don't know that guy. Ooh, interesting. Finding empty restaurants and bringing 100 construction workers. Oh, that's cool. They're hungry people. Hungry people are the workers because they work and they work up an appetite. I saw there's a video this one kind of went viral a little bit, the Machiavelli versus Marcus Aurelius or whatever. And then there was another one, I think is it up here, there was another one that was Andrew Tate and Marcus Aurelius debates Stoicism. Oh man, it was so stupid. Speed. No, that's not speed. What am I saying? Bro, why did I think that's speed? It's not speed at all. Bro, there's so much. There's garbage. Boros versus the Viltrumite invasion. Okay. What is this? Okay, this is garbage. This is garbage. Never mind. That just made it. Well, that just made it so much worse. 12 essential skills for every man. Perhaps. So what is let me guess. Okay, so the top left, he's got a club. I'm guessing it's killing a wild animal. Number 2 is probably being able to kill another human being. Number 3, it's looks like a play on. Oh, it's not a play on it. It's just a smushed version of that one French painting of him looking up over the mist. So being pensive, being engrossed in thought. Number 4. What is he? He's standing up, probably maybe in the middle of an assembly, being able to speak in front of people. Okay, I guess number 5 is writing. Number 6, sitting. Number 7, what is that? Money? Being good with money, I guess. Number 8, Number 8. Again, just like being pensive while writing. Okay. Number 9. Butchering the animal that you killed in number 1. Number 10. Does he have a rifle? That's a rifle, right? Shooting. Being able to kill. Okay, so the first one was being able to kill an animal with your bare hands or a melee weapon. And then and then this one is being able to kill a wild animal with a firearm. Okay. This is 11. That's gonna be Atlas. Just be Atlas. Being Atlas is the skill. And then, of course, number 12. You gotta have the fit. Every man's gotta have a fit. Okay. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up the whole video. We don't need to watch it. Why? Yes. Oh, Asmongold got banned on Twitch. Interesting. That's a crazy height difference. They might weigh a little, like, kind of similarly. This guy's pretty stocky, and this guy looks a bit more wiry. But I mean, look at the arms. The arms are pretty similar in size, and his are a lot longer. Okay, this is okay. What I was gonna look up, not just get lost on the homepage. That's crazy. We're gonna look up something that would never ever show up on the homepage of YouTube, and that is St. John Croissant. Oh wait a second. Because how do you use it? I need a Vorak. Is that not true? Two crazy undue bullies have the work to do. Look at my wrist. Bro, what is this history? Gym vlog doggy. How to make candles. It's crazy. That's so crazy. That's actually funny. Okay. Saint John Chrysostom. How to choose a wife. Bang. This one. We're going to be listening to this one, guys. It's a good one.
How to choose a wife.
And I'm just going to chill out.
Today, I shall speak about the same subject. I wish to give advice to those who want to enter marriage. When we are about to buy households and slaves, we are very curious and nosy about the sellers and the previous owners and about the individuals we are buying. We want to know the condition of their bodies and the disposition of their souls. When we are about to marry a wife, we ought to show even more foresight. If a house is defective, we can return it, and if a slave is clumsy, we can take him back to the seller. When we take a wife, we cannot
Okay, we'll also say that this St. John Chrysostom, to give a little bit of context, he starts it out talking about well, when we go and buy slaves, okay, he was back in I think the 4th century or something. like fourth century, I believe. When he was a bishop of Antioch, the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. When was Saint John Chrysostom born? 347 AD. 349 AD in Antioch, Syria, modern day Turkey. Yep. So they had slavery back then, and it was I don't know, like Roman slavery was, I think, different. They had like house slaves and stuff, and you know, they didn't have like chattel slavery or whatever. But you know, it was kind of like being a peasant, where like you didn't really own well, peasants owned things. Slaves didn't really own things, but like they kind of were semi like a part of the family, you know, but they were just there to like do work. They were like servants. Yeah. It was like, it's like a maybe like a butler, but a butler would be a part of like a super rich family. But I mean, you'd have to be kind of rich to own slaves too. Like for that time. So I don't know. But it wasn't like chattel slavery where they were like, I don't know, doing stuff that they were like the 1800s. But I'm sure that there were bad slave owners back in the 4th century, as well as like, you know, in the 19th century. I think that's fair to say.
Turn her to her family.
And then there were probably some like nice slave owners too, where they didn't put like super heavy burdens on their slaves. So, you know.
But we must keep her with us until the end. If we reject her because she is bad, we are guilty of adultery according to the law of God. So when you are going to take a wife, do not read the laws of the state only, but first of
also to all those people who like, oh my goodness, bro. They're like, oh, how can you give any advice about marriage or whatever when you're not married? And like you need to like be in marriage to give advice about marriage. That is that's total garbage. That's like horrible advice. Because like the greatest football analysts, they're not always football players. They don't always play football. Maybe they like played football a little bit when they were like kids and teenagers and stuff, but like they have like a certain kind of mind about them. Like their mind is built differently than like the average football player's mind. Those like football analysts. And in a similar way, the people that you ask for marriage advice aren't always going to be the people that are just like married, because they're in it. They're in like the thick of it. Sometimes you can't see what is really going on when you're in the middle of the woods. You're in the path itself. You cannot see the outside. You cannot see all of the forest around you because you're just in the middle of it. All you see are the trees. You know? So, yeah, the people who give the best advice about marriage are the people who are not married and are priests. Priests and ancient church fathers of the Christian faith, not any other faith. The faith of Jesus Christ. They're the ones that are qualified to be giving advice about marriage, because marriage is an institution made by God, and their whole life is seeking God and knowing God. So, which is what our lives should be too. So they would be the best to give the advice on it. And like, if you just like read any one voice crack, if you just read any single one of these like church fathers, the way that they speak, and like John Chrysostom, he was like, I think he was nicknamed like Silver Tongue or something like that because he gave such like eloquent speeches, eloquent sermons. So you just like read any of the stuff that they wrote or that they spoke, the ideas that they were so much more grounded in reality, and their ideas were so untainted from the definitely from modern thought and post-enlightenment thought and humanist thought. It's untainted from like any of that stuff. But the thing is those ideas like humanism and feminism and just post-enlightenment thought in general, those ideas had roots. Like there's something inside of the human soul that makes us want to be rebellious and wants to put us at like the center of things. And selfishness is kind of like inborn in people. At least that's what I believe. I know that there are other people throughout history who have debated that, but I don't think that that's right. Like I think it was like Jean-Jacques Rousseau. He was like this philosopher, kind of not really a psychologist. Psychology didn't really exist so much back then. It was like the beginning of it, like getting developed. He was more like a philosopher, but he basically had the idea that like children were like pure, and their inclinations were very very innocent from like the beginning, and it's through socialization that they become corrupt and society corrupts them and stuff. But it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did the people come first or did the society come first? Well, I believe the people had to come first. I think that the people had to come first in order for there to be like a society. Now, that's true if you think about it like biblically, because it says that God created Adam, and he took Eve out of his side, and then you have like the beginning of the human race, and it started with a couple people. But then you have the evolutionary lens, and it's a little bit different. That's where it becomes more of like a chicken and the egg situation, because social creatures have existed for like billions of years. So it's like, well, at that point, it's like humans as like a species didn't exist prior to the society, but they were still individual animals or creatures, or bacteria, how far you go back. But bacteria aren't social. So at some point between bacteria and human beings, there became like a social aspect with like one of our distant ancestors. They started socializing with each other, and then pro-social behavior sprung up from that. And then we got to where we are. So I don't know. It's one of the other. But okay, where was I going with this? Oh yeah. The reason why priests are the best for telling you how to run your marriage is because they have a certain mind. I don't even want to say a tangent. Is because they have like a certain mind where they are like the analysts in the game. They have, they're constantly like looking at their congregants. They're looking like towards God. They're asking God for guidance. They're praying to the Lord. They are seeking counsel among their peers. who are also seeking the Lord, missionaries, people in seminary, and this is also true in some Protestant churches, uh, and you know, it's like there's good eggs in some churches, and there's good eggs in other churches, and there's bad eggs in some churches, and bad eggs in other churches. You got to just like pray to God that He's going to lead you in the right way to the right people who will help you along the right path. But in any event, you want to find some very good, solid, religious, like fathers, like spiritual fathers to look up to and to seek advice from. Because yes, you should always pray to the Lord and ask God for guidance in everything. And He is going to be ultimately the one that is leading you in the right direction. He is going to make it so that whatever it is that you're praying for is either prosperous, or whether it falls flat, and that's His decision to make, really. So you need to ask God for guidance. But second to that, He also put on earth ministers to not enact, I guess, yeah, enact would be a proper word, to enact His will on the earth as well. So that's what, priests are supposed to do. And that's what priests did, like in the Old Testament as well. God appointed a certain group of people to be ministers on the earth. So, yeah, the top two guys that I've ever heard give marriage advice. They're both dead, but they're both alive in the Lord. And that is St. Paul and St. John Chrysostom. These guys had it down pat. Like, they had it on lock. And neither of them ever married. There is a little bit of debate as to whether or not that Paul was married before and then he was celibate the rest of his life after he became a widower. But in the Bible, like, there's no mention of him having like a previous relationship or a wife at any point in time. And he said that he was celibate. So, but if you read Ephesians, he gave the most solid advice that there ever was dropped in the history of humanity on marriage. And that is what we should be following. And I like St. John Chrysostom because he talks about those passages a lot. And this one, he's actually going to go more into like the Old Testament. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say for that. I'm yapping too much. Let's just get on with it.
Read the laws of the church. God will judge you at the last day, not by the civil law, but by His law. Neglect of the civil law often brings fines in money. Neglect of God's law brings inescapable punishment for the soul and that unquenchable fire. When you are about to take a wife, you rush eagerly to the experts in civil law. You sit beside them and question them carefully. What will happen if my wife dies childless? What if she has a child, or 2 or 3? How will she be able to use her money if her father is living or if he is not? What part of the inheritance will go to her brothers and sisters? What part to her husband? When will her husband gain control of the whole without allowing anyone to detach any part of her property? Under what conditions will he be deprived of the whole? You ask many other questions like these with great curiosity, investigating everything to make sure that no part of your wife's property goes to any of her relatives. As I said before, if anything unexpected should happen, the penalty would be only money. Nevertheless, you are not willing to overlook any of these possibilities. Isn't this foolish? When we are in danger of losing money, we take so much care, but when we are risking our souls and the punishment hereafter, we pay no attention. We ought to be concerned and take trouble about these matters above all. I advise, therefore, and exhort those who are about to marry that they should approach the blessed Paul and read the laws which he has recorded concerning marriage. First, learn what he bids you to do if your wife happens to be wicked, deceitful, alcoholic, abusive, foolish, or subject to any other such fault. Then discuss marriage with this in mind. If you see that he allows you to divorce her and take another, if you find any of these faults in her, then enjoy your freedom from care. If, however, he does not allow this, but bids you to be content and keep her with you in spite of any fault except unchastity, then make your resolve firm to endure all your wife's wickedness. If this is heavy and burdensome, then take every care to choose a good, kind, docile wife. You know that you must make one of two choices. If you take a bad wife, you must endure the annoyance. If you are not willing to do this, you incur the guilt of adultery by divorcing her. The Lord says, "Everyone who divorces his wife, except on the ground of unchastity, makes her an adulteress, and whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery." If we have investigated these laws and know them well before we marry, we will take great care to choose a wife who is well ordered from the beginning and compatible with our character. If we marry a woman like this, we will gain not only the benefit that we will never divorce her, but also that we will love her intensely, as Paul commands. For when he says, "Husbands, love your wives," he does not stop with this, but gives us a measure for love, as Christ loved the church. And how did Christ love the church, tell me? He gave himself up for her. So even if you must die for your wife, do not refuse. If the master loved his servant so much that he gave himself up for her, all the more you must love your fellow servant as much. Let us see, however, whether perhaps the beauty of the bride attracted the bridegroom and the virtue of her soul. No. She was unattractive and impure, as the next words show. When Paul says he gave himself up for her, he adds that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water. When he says, having cleansed her, he shows that she was unclean and unholy, not in any ordinary way, but with the greatest uncleanness. She was defiled with grease, smoke, blood, gore, and innumerable stains like these. Nevertheless, he did not abhor her ugliness, but changed her repulsiveness, reshaped her, reformed her, remitted her sins. You must imitate him. Even if your wife sins against you more times than you can count, you must forgive and pardon everything. If you marry a surly woman, you must reform her with gentleness and kindness, as Christ did the church. He did not only wipe away her uncleanness, but even stripped off her old age, taking off the old humanity which is composed of sin. Paul hints at this also, that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle. He did not make her merely beautiful, but also young, not according to the nature of her body, but according to the state of her character. And this is not the only marvel, that when he found her ugly, shameful, and old, he did not abhor her ugliness, but handed himself over to death and refashioned her in unimaginable beauty. It is even more marvelous that after this, when he often sees her soiled and spotted, he does not reject her nor cast her away from himself, but continues to care for her and correct her. How many, tell me, have sinned after coming to the faith? Yet he did not abhor them. For example, the immoral man at Corinth was a member of the church. He did not cut off the member, but cured it. The whole church of the Galatians was rebellious and fell into Judaizing practices. Yet he did not cast them out either, but took care of them by Paul's agency and restored them to their former relationship. When there is an infection in our bodies, we do not cut off the limb, but try to expel the disease. We must do the same with a wife. If there is some wickedness in her, do not reject your wife, but expel the evil. After all, it is possible for a wife to reform, but it is often impossible for an injured limb to recover. Yet even when we know that the injury is incurable, we still do not cut off the limb. Often a person with a crooked foot, a lame leg, a dry and withered hand, or a sightless eye does not put out the eye or cut off the leg or the hand. Instead, even though he sees that no benefit comes to the body from the diseased part, and indeed much shame comes upon the other limbs, he goes on keeping it because of its affinity with the rest. Isn't this foolish? When the cure is impossible and there is no benefit, we exercise such care. But when there is good hope of amendment, we refuse the treatment. When something is injured in its nature, it cannot recover. But the crooked inclination can be reformed. Even if you should say that your wife is incurably ill, and after receiving much care still behaves in her own manner, still you must not cast her out. The limb with an incurable disease is not cut off. She also is your limb, for it is written, "The two shall become one flesh." Besides, with the limb, we receive no benefit from the treatment when the illness turns out to be incurable. But with a wife, even if she remains incurably ill, we will receive a great reward for our attempts to teach and educate her. Even if she does not benefit at all from our teaching, we will receive a great reward from God for our patience, because we have shown so much forbearance through fear of him. We have endured her evil ways with gentleness and have kept our member. For a wife is a member which is related to us, and because of this, we especially ought to love her. This is just what Paul was teaching when he said, "Even so husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. For no man ever hates his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, as Christ does the church, because we are members of his body, made from his flesh and his bones." Just as Eve came from the side of Adam, he says, so we come from the side of Christ. This is what he means when he says, "made from his flesh and his bones." We all know that Eve came from the side of Adam himself. Scripture has told this plainly, that God put Adam into a deep sleep and took one of his ribs and fashioned the woman. But how can we show that the church also came from the side of Christ? Scripture explains this too. When Christ was lifted up on the cross, after he had been nailed to it and had died, one of the soldiers pierced his side, and there came out blood and water. From that blood and water, the whole church has arisen. He himself bears witness to this when he says, "Unless one is born again of water and spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of heaven." He calls the blood spirit. We receive birth from the water of baptism, and we are nourished by his blood. Do you see how we are made from his flesh and from his bones, as we are given birth and nourished by that blood and water? Just as the woman was fashioned while Adam slept, so also when Christ had died, the church was formed from his side. We must love our wife not only because she is a part of ourselves and had the beginning of her creation from us, but also because God made a law about this when he said, "For this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." Paul reads us this law in order to surround us and drive us toward this love. See the wisdom of the apostle. He does not lead us to the love of our wives by divine laws only, or by human reasoning only, but by interchanging them, he makes a combination of both. In this way, the wiser and higher-minded may be led by the heavenly arguments, while the weaker may be led to love by the natural and earthly arguments. This is why he begins with Christ's righteous acts and introduces his exhortation by saying, "Love your wives as Christ loved the church." Then again, from human experience, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. Then again from Christ, because we are members of his body, made from his flesh and his bones. Then again, from humanity. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife. After reading this law, Paul says, "This is a great mystery." How is it a great mystery? Tell me. Because the girl who has always been kept at home and has never seen the bridegroom, from the first day loves and cherishes him as her own body. Again, the husband who has never seen her, never shared even the fellowship of speech with her, from the first day prefers her to everyone, to his friends, his relatives, even his parents. The parents, in turn, if they are deprived of their money for another reason, will complain, grieve, and take the perpetrators to court. Yet they entrust to a man, whom often they have never seen before or come to know at all, both their own daughter and a large sum as dowry. They rejoice as they do this and do not consider it a loss.
Well, I wish that's how it worked nowadays. But anyway, I think I'm going to do a little bit of love to my body, and I'm going to go to sleep. Because if I'm going to have a wife in the future, I'm going to have to love her like I love my body. So I'm going to practice loving my body well. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I guess I'll see you all in the next one whenever I get time. Again, I'm going to try to do it on Thursdays. Excuse me. I'm going to try to do it on Thursdays. But if I can get to it other days, that'd be cool too. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys had a great time. God bless. And peace out.